The Contessa and the Bunny, Chapter 1, by O'Malley, Dakota. The island appeared on the horizon, shimmering like a desert mirage. Passengers on the ether ship strained their eyes to catch their first glimpse of the now legendary space. As the airship's engines pushed, lessening the distance, the island's features became more distinct. The rich green of well-maintained parks, the roofs and spires of new construction gradually taking form. Soon a brilliant white flash at one end of the island, then the rumble of a massive lift ship departing from orbital space. It could only be the vehicle of the Cosmos women, those known as the Guild. It was quite an event when they emerged from the shadows. There had always been rumors of Martians and Venusians. The first discovery of intelligent life from beyond Earth was these magnificent women. For a very long time, mystery and legends surrounded the island. People said a wealthy American industrialist once owned it. He abandoned everything he had there, allegedly in the face of ghosts. The church built a monastery, which still stands, but the monks all disappeared during a torrential storm. Then came the woman known as the Contessa. Whatever forces haunted this place would not drive her off. It took forces beyond reckoning to take her off the island, a literal battle waged within the eye of a hurricane. She returned. The island was hers. She had paid its cost both in blood and gold. Part of that price was scars, some physical, of war and personal loss. It would be her kingdom. Nothing would ever take her away again. As the ether ship approached, there was almost no hint of this past. The woman from off-world had carefully built over the scars left by the Nova bomb blasts. Those thermobaric explosions scoured away the evil plaguing the island. A small spaceport stood where there had once been derelict warehouses. The ferrous concrete surface lined with lift ships being loaded with stasis chambers with agricultural produce, the gifts of life itself from another world. Nearby, there was an airship dock. The Victorian splendor was a direct contrast to the utilitarian efficiency of the guild constructs. Ornate iron railings and an immaculate gazebo that embodied the spirit of the British Empire's best artisans. It wasn't long before the ship's porter called for the passengers to prepare to disembark. The air filled with the shrill sound of ship's whistle, then the distinct thud of a boarding ramp being lowered. On the dock, near the boarding ramp, standing in the gazebo's shade, stood three women. Two wore full-length black dresses, the finest in Paris fashion, businesslike yet elegant. One of them, a petite figure with amber hair, was carefully checking a copy of a telegraph ship's manifest. Beside her was a taller woman with obsidian hair, black as midnight. She had recently discovered some strands of gray, but had decided against removing them. In her mind, she had earned these reminders of a darkness she had once known. One hand holding a closed parasol, brandishing it like a riding crop or pointer. If anybody among the disembarking passengers had a quick eye, they would have noticed the two women holding each other's hands briefly before the ramp touched the dock. The third woman was a wild contrast, dressed in a short white diaphanous dress, leaving little to the imagination. She looked like a fairy tale elf, face filled with exotic beauty, framed by flowing white hair and albino skin. Men would also notice the barely concealed ample figure. But what people would inevitably notice first were the two fuzzy pink and white bunny ears dancing delightfully over her head. If you came close enough to her, you might also detect the aroma of freshly cut strawberries. As the passengers descended the boarding ramp, the redhead moved forward, calling out names to those arriving. She would smile as women responded, then separating them into a group to one side of the ramp. Two large men came down the ramp, both dressed in the attire of London bankers, tweed jackets with dangling pocket watch chains, bowler hats worn like crowns. Neither man was old, possibly freshly graduated from an academy. Many would travel to the island to apply for coveted positions with the royal consulate here, Her Majesty's Foreign Office dedicated to trade with off-world entities. Both quickly spotted the rabbit-eared woman and came to stop just a few meters from her. The Bonnet were now well known to the Empire, but mainly through tabloid articles. One had even had an audience with the Queen. It was a very rare day to encounter one, especially since right now there was only one on the planet. The men watched her silently, not being sure what to say to a being from another world. The bunny-eared woman returned their gaze innocently, a smile gradually growing on her face. Her expression changed from innocence to wicked delight when she saw a woven basket of produce nearby. The aroma of strawberries suddenly spiked higher. She pulled a large cucumber from the basket, cradled it by her face, and gently nibbled it. Her voice now sounded with a tone like a cat purring. "Grow these here, delicious, if men have anything larger to taste." The black-eared woman's voice interrupted. "Lyria, let the gentleman go in peace." The bunny-eared woman placed the cucumber in her mouth, sliding it between her lips provocatively, never taking her eyes off either man. Each man stood transfixed, as if lost in a trance. Then Lyria bit down loudly, a crunch as her teeth cut into the vegetable. Each man now shook, as though jolted awake. They looked at each other in wide-eyed astonishment, then rushed away, almost tripping over each other in their haste. The black-haired woman shook her head in mock disgust and watched as Lyria curtsied and wandered frivolously toward the island. The redhead had finished corralling all those on her list. They gathered in the gazebo's shade, a varied collection of women. Most were quiet, nervous as their minds pondered what might be coming. All eyes found their way to the black-haired woman as she spoke. "Welcome. You may call me the Contessa. Some of you already know me. For those who don't, welcome to my island. This is a joint protectorate of Her Majesty's government and the corporate state of the Women's Pilot and Crew Guild. There are ships of the Royal Navy in the waters around us and guild ships in the orbital space above us. I reassure you, though, the island is mine, paid for in gold and steel. Both Her Majesty's Foreign Office and the Guild maintain consulates here. Their doors remain open. By a treaty negotiated between Madame Marietta Akira and Foreign Secretary George Levison Gower Earl Granville, by further decree of Her Majesty Queen Victoria, I am appointed Regent of the ground we are standing on. You are now all under my security and care. Every one of you volunteered to come here. I selected all of you. This is now your home, and if you prove capable, a new life for you. I did not bring you here to be mere whores. We are going to mold you into so much more. You will learn to use your minds and bodies to change the fates of empires. If you will all follow my assistant Mally, she will show you to your quarters and the dining room. Mally Dakota ushered away most of the group, taking them toward the imposing structure known as the Grand House. The Contessa singled out and stopped 6 of the women. The 6 were subtly different from the others. Each stood a little taller, carrying themselves with unique confidence. Their attention was all focused on the Contessa. None of them said a word until the larger group had moved beyond hearing. The Contessa's eyes ran over them before she spoke. She knew what they were capable of. You can all still back out of this. I won't think any less of you. None of the group moved, their eyes never leaving the Contessa. The women were silent. Seconds passed, the feeling of resolve electric in the air. The Contessa's voice rose, a hint of happiness coloring it. Petty officer, please take your detail to the mansion. You'll find it to your left down the lane. Mally will be waiting to take you to a place I've designated for all of you. Tomorrow, your training will begin. Our duty to the guild is done, but our service isn't. We will make worlds tremble.